Every time I switch to the iPhone, I discovered this basic table stakes feature that's missing, and Android has had this for 15 years. What am I talking about? The ability to let something process in the background. For example, on Instagram, you can't leave the app while an image or video is still uploading. You can't leave Google Drive in the middle of an upload. You can't even leave Google Photos. Android simply doesn't have this problem and allows these processes to run in the background.
Well, I've noticed that happened since I got my iPhone. Whenever I'm uploading a story or a post to Instagram and I minimize the app, it doesn't upload. I never had that problem on my Samsung, and it's not just Instagram, like he said. Google Photos, I've had it happen with YouTube, I've had it happen with Snapchat, TikTok. It's ridiculous. I don't know why it happens. Maybe it's because the iPhone doesn't have as much RAM as Android smartphones. But it's a really frustrating experience, and they say the iPhone uses less RAM, but maybe Apple just kills all background activities the moment you leave the app. I know the RAM management is pretty good when you see it in speed tests, but when you're actually using it, you try to upload something, it doesn't upload the moment you leave the app. That's just a terrible experience in my opinion, and I don't know if there's a way to fix it or if it requires some sort of update or maybe just a bigger RAM on the iPhones. How about that?
Here's what I learned when I switched to Android. Android is very customizable. The quick panel, switches, text, and even icons can match your wallpaper.
Well, on iOS 18, the upcoming iOS 18, I already have the beta. You can also do that. But yes, it took Apple long enough.
App icons can be placed anywhere you want, and you can change the entire look with a launcher or theme from the Galaxy Store. A swipe.
Also on iOS 18, you can place the app icon wherever you want. And I think that's going to be more of a problem for iPhone users because they're so used to Apple controlling wherever the icon is supposed to be that given the opportunity to change it themselves, they might just make a messy home screen and make it look like a disaster. I've seen a few disasters on iOS 18 developer beta on Twitter, and I don't know, I like it, but some people might just make it a mess.
Swipe down for anywhere in the home screen will bring up notifications, and you can go back to the
That is one feature that I absolutely detest on the iPhone. You can't change what the swipe down gesture does. It just opens the search bar. On Samsung, you can change it to whatever you want it to do. Well, a few options, but swiping down the notification is a very good one. I always use that on my Samsung phone, and it's amazing.
Go back to the previous page with a swipe from the left or right. Widgets.
That is another amazing feature that the iPhone lacks. It introduced the gesture swipes, but there is still no back gesture. There is a back gesture, but that does not work in every app. A few apps you can swipe from left to right to go back. Others, it doesn't go back. You have to use the back button at the top left corner. That's annoying, especially on a bigger iPhone.
Are interactive, so you can pause or skip to the next song without opening the app. And for you power users, there's multitasking. You can have
widgets are also interactive on the iPhone, and multitasking. I do enjoy using two apps at the same time, but I would say I don't use it too often.
I decided to buy an Android, a fucking Android.
Samsung Zoom is simply amazing. I thought he was right there with him, but it was quite a distance from him, and it still looks like a pretty good video.
Has anyone switched from Apple to Android and actually liked it? Because I went from having iPhone my entire life to switching to Android yesterday, and I never realized how dumb I was when it came to technology. Because this phone, if you are very familiar with Samsung and you love it and think it's great, can you please tell me why and tell me what I'm missing? Because I have no idea how to use this thing.
I don't think you're dumb. I just think you're already used to a specific type of ecosystem or operating system with the iPhone, and switching to something different can be quite challenging. I just think you should give yourself some time to adapt to the new operating system and learn how it works. Adopting Apple's iOS when I first got my iPhone was quite challenging for me, and it took a couple of days of using the iPhone for me to get comfortable with using iOS. And there are still a lot of features that I miss from Android, like a back gesture swipe. but iOS has grown on me, and I think it's a pretty good operating system.
Been confused as of late.
There's something wrong with that S24 Ultra. It's not a Samsung problem. Maybe it's a specific device problem or some kind of glitch, or you did something to the phone, because that does not happen normally on its own out of nowhere. So you should maybe send it to Samsung for a checkup or undo whatever it is you did.